The Philippine military helicopter fleet has undergone a significant transformation over the past decade, shaped by lessons from recent conflicts, evolving regional threats, and the archipelago's unique geography. 3 aircraft now form the backbone of this aerial capability: the S-70i Black Hawk, the T129 ATAK, and the AW109. Each fills a distinct role, one as the logistical lifeline to remote islands, another as a precision strike weapon, and the last as a maritime patrol and utility platform. Together, they represent the Philippine Armed Forces' attempt to balance mobility, firepower, and surveillance in an increasingly contested environment. The S-70i Black Hawk story in the Philippines is one of both necessity and ambition. The Battle of Marawi in 2017 laid bare the inadequacies of the country's air mobility fleet, many of which were aged and insufficient for sustained operations. In 2019, Manila moved to acquire 16 S-70i Black Hawk utility helicopters from Poland's PZL Milek under a $241 million deal. Deliveries between 2020 and 2021 brought immediate improvements, with the aircraft proving invaluable in disaster relief, troop transport, and rapid deployment to conflict zones. The utility of these machines was so evident that in 2022, the government committed to a further 32 units in a $624 million contract, which will bring the total to 48 by 2026. This will make the Philippine Air Force the largest S-70i operator in the world, a clear signal of the platform's centrality to the nation's defense strategy. Already, some of these helicopters have been assigned to the 250th Presidential Airlift Wing, reflecting both their versatility and the trust placed in their performance. In the Philippine context, the Black Hawk is more than just a helicopter. It is the connective tissue of the nation's defense posture, ensuring troops and supplies can move swiftly across the thousands of islands that make up the country. Where the Black Hawk delivers presence and mobility, the T129 ATAK delivers decisive lethality. This Turkish-built attack helicopter entered Philippine service under a 13.7 billion peso contract for 6 units, signed in 2021. The decision was a direct response to operational lessons from Marawi, where the need for a dedicated, well-armed attack helicopter was made painfully clear. The first units arrived in late 2022, with the final pair commissioned in May 2024, completing the fleet. Armed with a 20mm cannon, guided rockets, and capable of carrying advanced anti-tank missiles, the T129 is designed to break armored assaults, suppress enemy positions, and provide close air support to infantry during amphibious or airborne operations. Its agility and firepower make it an ideal sledgehammer for securing landing sites, covering troop insertions, and neutralizing threats before they can close in. However, it is a specialized platform. Its short range and payload limitations compared to heavy utility helicopters mean it is a scalpel for high-intensity engagements, not a workhorse for sustained operations. The AW109, by contrast, occupies a lighter and more flexible niche. Operated by both the Philippine Air Force and Navy since the mid-2010s, the AW109 Power E variant serves in maritime patrol, search and rescue, light attack, and utility roles. For the Navy in particular, it acts as an extended arm, projecting surveillance and limited strike capabilities from ship decks into contested waters. Its smaller size and lighter armament make it ideal for patrols, medical evacuations, and training, while still allowing it to be armed with machine guns and rockets when needed. In 2025, AW109s took part in Exercise Balikatan 40, demonstrating their ongoing utility in naval operations. The type has not been without incident. One aircraft crash-landed in December 2024, fortunately without loss of life. But overall, it remains a valuable complement to heavier and more specialized helicopters. For the Philippine Navy, it is less a weapon of decisive battle than a set of eyes and hands, constantly in motion, patrolling the maritime approaches and responding to emerging situations. When comparing these three platforms, their differing strengths and weaknesses reveal why they complement each other so well. The Black Hawk's greatest strength lies in its payload and range. It can carry significant numbers of troops, cargo, and equipment deep into remote islands or disaster areas, day or night, in all weather. Its weakness is that it is unarmed in its standard configuration and cannot deliver the kind of precision firepower the ATAK can bring to bear. The T129, in turn, excels in the very area where the Black Hawk is lacking. It can obliterate armored vehicles, suppress fortified positions, and provide direct support to ground forces. Yet its shorter range, smaller transport capacity, and specialized maintenance needs limit its utility outside of high-intensity combat. The AW109 is versatile in peacetime roles, with the ability to operate from ships and small airfields. But its limited armament and payload mean it cannot replace either the transport capacity of the Black Hawk or the firepower of the ATAK. From a strategic perspective, the Philippine Armed Forces appear to have embraced a layered approach to helicopter capability. The Black Hawk ensures that any point in the archipelago is within reach of reinforcement or relief. The T129 guarantees that any landing or assault force will have precision strike cover against armored and entrenched threats. The AW109 ensures maritime patrol and rapid response in coastal areas, plugging gaps in surveillance and providing light support when needed. This balance reflects the realities of Philippine defense: the need to maintain sovereignty over vast maritime and island territories, deter or defeat localized incursions, and remain ready for both conventional and unconventional threats. If one had to choose a single strategic helicopter in the Philippine context, the S-70i Black Hawk stands above the rest. While the ATAK brings critical combat capability and the AW109 extends maritime reach, neither can match the Black Hawk's ability to transform the operational tempo of the armed forces. In an archipelago where distance is the first enemy and logistics the lifeblood of defense, the Black Hawk's role in moving men and material quickly and reliably makes it indispensable. It is the aircraft that makes all other operations possible, whether delivering ATAK crews and support to forward bases, ferrying AW109 components for maintenance, or evacuating civilians from disaster zones. Still, the other two types cannot be dismissed as luxuries. Without the ATAK, troops inserted by Black Hawks into contested areas would be dangerously exposed to enemy armor and fortified positions. Without the AW109, maritime situational awareness and naval responsiveness would suffer, leaving gaps that could be exploited by hostile actors. The three together form a tactical triangle: the Black Hawk as the logistics backbone, the T129 as the iron fist, and the AW109 as the patrol eye. The real question for Philippine defense planners is how to prioritize future investment over the next decade. The Black Hawk will undoubtedly remain the largest fleet and the most used platform, but budgetary realities may force choices between expanding utility capacity, increasing combat helicopter numbers, or modernizing maritime patrol assets. Each has its own constituency and operational logic. If the goal is to rapidly reinforce and resupply every corner of the nation, the Black Hawk should take priority. If the focus is on countering heavily armed incursions and securing landing zones in contested areas, the ATAK's numbers and weapon systems could be expanded. If maritime gray zone competition intensifies, the AW109, or a future, more capable naval helicopter, might see greater investment. Black Hawk is the logistics backbone, T129 is the iron fist, AW109 is the patrol eye. All three form a complete tactical triangle, but if we had to choose only one to invest heavily in for the next 10 years, which one do you think the Philippines should choose? If you enjoy in-depth coverage of Philippine defense developments, support the channel, follow and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to receive timely updates and analysis.